All right, Junkie Nation, here we go again. Gorgeous Georgian goes delivering another superstar involved in the sport of mixed martial arts. This time it's 2020 Trainer of the Year, Phil Daru. What's up, Phil? How are you?
I'm good, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Damn, man, look at you all jacked at that restaurant. Nobody's going to give you any looks. You're going to get your food on time, that's for sure.
Yeah, actually just got done with a workout, so I think I got a pump still. So ease up. I don't know. It's not always like this.
Now, this is a fat guy about to clown on you, but is that just one size too small? I mean, is that the way it works? Like, I got these guns, I just gotta show them. Like, have some mercy on the rest of us.
I just thought that like that, man. I think I need to use like a medium most of the time, so I can look the part. You know, as a strength coach, it's important.
Talking to him, George?
Oh yeah, I was talking to Phil, not you guys.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, Phil, let me ask you, what was, you got that award, that recognition for Trainer of the Year. How did you feel about that? That's you go up against some really, really talented people in this industry.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blessing. Honestly, very honored to get the award. You know, I've been in the sport for 12 years now, 13 almost. And, yeah, I mean, it was good. You know, I think that all those other guys that were in there, girls that were in there, you know, they were obviously top-notch, top level. And I don't take nothing away from them. I think that we all have something to give to the industry, to the sport. And I was just happy and humbled to receive it. It's my fourth time winning an award. I won a bunch of awards in Florida for the Florida MMA Awards, and now it's good to get the World MMA Awards too as well. So hopefully next year I get it again. And again, I'm not really looking for awards. I'm more so happy when my guys win fights and my girls win fights. And, you know, a guy like Dustin Poirier, that was more of a highlight of my year. But we got plenty of more to come because it is the start of the new year. So we'll see.
It is the start of a new year, and what a way to kick it off, man. Dustin looked great out there. I wanted to ask you first just your reaction to the big win and, all the hard work that you and him put into this.
Well, I was at my house, and I basically woke up my entire family because I was screaming at the top of my lungs with excitement and joy. But as far as just the culmination of his hard work and his ability to put it all together when the time is right, that was something that he showcased based off of the strategic approach that Mike and Daya put together for him, and he went out there and executed gracefully and did his thing, man. I'm super proud of him. I'm happy for him, and I'm glad for him to showcase the way that I knew that he could do things. And a lot of people were talking down. A lot of people were saying that he was going to lose, get knocked out. Super glad that he showed his abilities from that level and now shut up a lot of the critics, and we'll see what happens after that. But I know that, a lot of people say that some people say that he's not the true champion. In my eyes, if Khabib is actually going to retire, I feel like he's the uncrowned champ, and so does he. So, I'm just being biased a little bit because I am his coach, but at the end of the day, I like to see the next fight be for a title or, close to it at least.
Yeah, it's got to be for a title. It's got to be for a title. But you never know. That guy's a big name now, and who knows who they'll match him up with. Maybe there's just a big money fight out there. But I'd love to see him fight for the title because I agree that one should have been for the title, and Dustin won it.
Yeah, for sure. I like to see him. There's a couple of fights out there that I like to see him, with. But I think that I know he's motivated to fight Conor again, to settle the score. A Nate Diaz fight would be really good. I know that. I think that Charles Oliveira would be a good fight. I know the Justin Gaethje fight would be really cool, just because of the amount of pressure that Justin puts on people, and I know that he's always up for a challenge. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
During the fight, as it was taking place, could you see any of the things that you guys work on that a lot of us fans and media don't even spot? Because all we're worried about is punches, kicks, knees, elbows. But you guys are very creative nowadays in the work that you guys put in that mimics some of these techniques.
Yeah, I was happy with his ability to maintain his posture, maintain his positioning, especially on the cage with Conor, putting the pressure on him. making sure that he doesn't get turned around a lot. And again, what we really were working on was his ability to move, to stay in the pocket, but also fire off shots and move efficiently inside the cage. We knew that that was going to be something that, you know, Conor is definitely an explosive athlete. He's powerful. He has, you know, he definitely has one-shot knockout power. So our ability to move inside the pocket, you know, get away from shots and then fire off efficiently and then move around the cage so that you don't get hit with a counter. And then on top of that, put the pressure on him, get the takedown, and then be able to control his body inside close quarters was really what we were focusing on from a physical standpoint. And also with me, the guy has been through wars, man. He's fought forever. So as a physical preparation coach, I'm looking to enhance movement quality. I'm looking to work on his ability to move in space and then just work on deficiencies and dysfunctions that have been brought upon through injuries and things of that nature, things with his hip, you know, working on different rotations and getting him in the proper positioning to be strong and work his skill set appropriately now that he has a better range of motion to do so.
After round one, Conor was standing, Dustin was sitting. Conor had arguably won round one, but at the same time, it was a 5-round fight. But you know, I think it was a big hurdle for him to get out of round one, not just because Conor said 60 seconds, but because the first fight ended early. But what were your thoughts at that time? I'm sure you were pacing back and forth for 60 seconds, but as you were watching them work the corners and as you were watching the body language, what were you reading?
No, I know for a fact that the one thing that Dustin does have is the great ability to recover ability in between rounds, definitely. Bring his heart rate down efficiently, and that's definitely going to be something that you can train, but also that you're kind of born with. You know, he is born with the great ability to take in oxygen and disperse any type of CO2 or buildup there. So I know that bringing down his heart rate, he can do very efficiently. So if he can bring down his heart rate, he's going to allow himself to get more energy reproduced. So I wasn't really worried about that so much as far as like him being in the corner. I'm looking at body language, but I know Dustin's body language. A lot of people get fooled by his posture. You know, a lot of times he'll be crouched down or he'll be having his hands on his knees. And that's actually a good thing because he's setting up his posture, or he's setting up his thorax in line with his pelvis, which is actually going to help him breathe more diaphragmatically or enhance the ability to breathe 360 degrees throughout his diaphragm. And that's going to help him get more oxygen in. So it's actually a strategic approach to breathing more optimally or breathing better, as opposed to opening up the chest and getting into that overextension there. And that can actually close down the diaphragm and limit the ability to take in oxygen. So from that perspective, being in the corner, looking at his mannerisms, looking at his facial expressions, I knew that he was okay and he was ready to go again. And I was very happy that he got out of the first round without taking any real damage. And then I was working more towards looking in the later the second, maybe in the third round, where he can start to pour it on. But when he caught him with that shot late in the second, I was like, I wasn't stunned, but I was definitely excited and happy to see that he was able to put him away with that shot, because for me, I honestly thought it was going to be a submission victory or something along the lines of that, where he would take it to the later rounds and either get a submission or get a decision. Didn't see that actually coming, especially in the earlier rounds or not in the championship rounds at that. So it was good to see.
Now, you've worked with a lot of top athletes, not just in combat sports, but outside of combat sports as well. But does this one rank up there as far as like the euphoria you felt and the profile of the fight being so high because it involved the biggest star in the sports history? Where does it rank up there for you?
I mean, it's very high. I would say top three. You know, the Joanna Jacek and Zhang Wei Li fight was definitely crazy for me. Yeah, I mean, his fight also with Max Holloway was definitely a big one. So I would say the top three for sure, just because of the magnitude of the fight, who he was fighting. And again, he was able to showcase his ability on such a grand scale with so many people watching the fight that are, I guess, quote unquote casuals that really don't know the sport like that. And now has allowed him to be on ESPN now and showcase his abilities from a grand scale like that. And now, again, it leveled up his credibility, it leveled up his brand, which is extremely important.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Goes in just a second. I got one more question as far as pre-fight. With these guys and gals going to Abu Dhabi, sometimes up to 2 weeks before, and if you're not able to accompany them, then, like, man, these conditions, they're stuck in their room for 48 hours, and then sometimes they can get out. This last time they weren't able to get out as much, and obviously you can't be around as many people. What kind of a program can you give them to keep up their conditioning for those last, like, 10 days, 7 days, whatever it is, before they even start concentrating on the weight loss?
It's funny because Dustin called me and he asked me if I could put together something for him that was going to be strictly inside the room because he couldn't leave the room. He only had a mat and a little bit of space to do work. So I put together a quick body weight only sports specific 5x5 conditioning program that's actually on my YouTube channel because I put it out there because everybody loved it. And but I put it together in the sense of getting him prepared for the demands of the sport, working on the biomotor abilities or the movements that he's going to do inside the competition, and then also the energy output that he's going to produce in that particular fight. So those are the type of things that you want to do. If they have the ability to go for a run, you definitely want to make sure that they're keeping up with their aerobic capacity, so doing some longer distance, more tempo style runs with a lighter intensity, and then some fast explosive bouts of energy, something like a high intensity interval throughout the days that they're there, at least 1 or 2 times per week. Again, you got 10 days, so I would like for them to do that at least one time between them and the fight, or that time in the fight. And then again, just keeping up with their drills, keeping up with their pad work, and if they can, sometimes they're obviously not going to be able to be around other people, but if they can, get with a training partner, get some grappling in, get some true movement in, because again, it's getting closer to the fight. You want to make it more sport specific.
That top plate's hot, careful.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about a specific moment in the fight. Was there any moment where you had to take a deep breath, where you were nervous, where Conor had done something that maybe scared you guys in the fight?
Not really, man. This was a good one. I mean, there's been times before that I was like, but I mean, the only one time that I could see him get rocked was because he didn't manage his distance in a sense. But I think that for the most part, I wasn't really too worried about it, man. He looked really good after that first initial takedown, and then him with the leg kicks. I was like, man, he's in a groove. He's feeling good. I could tell he's enjoying it. He was laughing. He was sitting there smiling. You know what I mean? So it was a pretty easy fight to watch in a sense.
That moment when fighters go in for the kill, let's say, is that a nerve-wracking moment for you? Because sometimes fighters will go in and they'll let out a lot of energy. Sometimes it's a submission, sometimes it's strikes, but then they don't get it because either the referee doesn't call it or the fighter just survives it. And then you have to kind of reassess that energy level for 5 rounds or 3 rounds. What is that like for you as a coach, and how do you calm your fighter back down?
Well, a lot of times it depends on the athlete, right? You have to be efficient in there. You have to know when a fighter is truly hurt and when you can actually go for the kill, and that is dependent upon their experience level. You know, with a guy like Dustin, I know that his experience level is very high, and he's been through wars where he's tried to go and he's got a guy hurt and he goes all out and he ends up gassing out because of the fact he's been through that so many times that he knows better. With a lot of the younger guys or like the new guys coming up on the scene, the goal really is to make sure that they stay patient, you know, and are confident in their abilities to not just finish the fight right then and there, but be patient and be strategic in their approaches. And when they see the guy hurt and they know that they can finish, not to go all out and get caught in a bad position, or again gas out because they're putting out too much energy, or they're occluding blood, or they're not breathing through particular strikes. So again, it really does come down to the mindset when you're building up into the fight, and then also their efficiency inside the fight itself. Again, with that also being said, you have to look at the experience level of the fighter, because once the experience level sets in, they actually know when to turn it on, or when a guy is truly hurt and they can finish the fight, or they can pace it, make sure that they have them hurt, and then go for the kill.
I wanted to ask you about certain injuries that have occurred. We're big sports fans, so baseball kind of has their own, and NBA and NFL. But the one that we've seen quite a bit of in mixed martial arts is the ACL injury. Is there something that trainers have gotten together and been able to kind of address to help strengthen those areas or keep fighters from doing that? Can you talk a little bit about some of the innovations that have come out?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I just had an ACL tear not too long ago, and that was due to trauma. I was in jiu-jitsu class, was rolling pretty hard, and I got my foot stuck in a position, and I went to turn out as fast as I can. Now, you really can't stop that. That's not something that is like more of a non-contact injury. That's actually something that you're basically stuck into a vice, and you torque the leg in a bad position or opposite to where the adjacent joint is being placed. So I did it to myself. Now, with that being said, I was able to bounce back fast. I'm 5 months post-op. I'm actually sitting with one of my orthopedic surgeons right now. Actually, he's sitting there eating some bad food too, by the way. But yeah. So with that, I was able to build my strength levels back up because of gaining a general strength base with the muscles that surround that joint. So you're able to bounce back a lot more efficiently. And then when it comes down to the surgery itself, right? If you do get an injury like that, you want to have a good surgeon that can take care of it first and foremost, clean it up and make sure that it's safe. But again, from a I guess you would say a prevention standpoint, I don't like to say prevention, but at least a reduction of injury, getting closer to higher contacts, getting them stronger, making sure that they're enhancing their movement quality, their rotation, their range of motion in each joint capsule is definitely going to be important. So a general strength base, increasing your basic armor around the joints, and then also making sure that you have elasticity built in. That's through plyometric drills or some type of jumping pattern. And then also working on optimal range of motion of that joint capsule so that you can do movements without any type of compensation. So that's really what we work on.
Coach, we'll let you get to that plate so you can smash it. Great catching up with you, but we got more questions regarding Logan Paul and some of the other people you work with. So how about a part 2 maybe in about a week or so? Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, enjoy the company. Congrats again on that award, and congrats on being part of Team Poirier's epic win over Conor McGregor this past Saturday at UFC 257.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care.